Hello there, welcome back. This is an extra video. Wasn't planning to do it. I've already announced 3 for this week, but this is an extra one I'm doing. The big thing is next week there'll be no videos from this channel. There will be one with solitary rodent, hopefully, if it's worked out properly. That's the plan anyway. I'm just taking a week off. Done a lot of films like Salo and Hell House and some depressing films, as well as those Godzilla films. So I'm just taking a little breather. I'll still be watching stuff. It's just I need a week to kind of get another backlog of stuff really. So I'd rather just not push it and do some mediocre videos just for the sake of doing it. I'd rather just take a little breather then come back. But there will be a video with Solitary Rodent next week anyway. All about the Decalogue parts 3 and 4. So I hope you enjoy that. So this one is about the Dave Chappelle Sticks and Stones Netflix special that's just come up and has been a source of controversy from lots of people. I thought I would do a little video on it since it's caught a lot of attention, it's got a lot of people interested in the subject. I like Dave Chappelle a lot. I really like the Chappelle Show. I've got them on Amazon streaming. But I'd seen them before, but I bought them again recently. I like all his Netflix specials he's been doing recently. I think they've always been funny, and they've always been very non-PC, but in a good way. So Sticks and Stones came out, I think it was last week now, to critical savaging, mainly from the lefty papers. And I'm lefty, so, but I wasn't surprised they savaged it. But it's got a great audience response. The audience response has been terrific, but the critical response has been not good. It's really been pretty severe. The people really disliked it and went after it politically more than anything else. They've been trying to say it's not funny, but it is funny. Everyone has seen it. Most people have seen something they think is funny in that show. I haven't seen anybody who doesn't like it. Honestly, haven't actually run into anybody who's seen it and hasn't liked it. Most people seem to like it. But obviously it was like a confrontational comedy set. And I think that's kind of important nowadays, to have something that's controversial, that's different from the norm, that's unique. Because I like comedy a lot, but for a long time there's been a few good comedians like Chappelle, Anthony Jeselnik, people like that who are really good, really smart, they don't care about offending people. But a lot of them have been kind of blah. It's like you get a lot of the comedy specials, these big Comedy Central specials, then there's been Netflix specials. I like Louis C.K. as well, despite the controversy about some of his personal habits. It's like, well, of course he's a weirdo, he's an artist, he's going to be a weirdo. So there's a lot of the better ones have really started to defend the kind of PC media, you know, the people who write reviews, the people have gone woke, as the saying says, have gone woke. Woke's meant to mean something that doesn't really mean anything. Because you say woke, I've gone woke means like I've gone woke to either side. Like I woke up to the hypocrisies of this side. It doesn't mean anything really. It's just a appropriation of a word that hasn't been done right, really, from my point of view. But anyway, so the special itself, Sticks and Stones, came out and absolutely got hammered, but I think it did amazingly well. And like everyone was like, you're going to see this. Like I saw it just when it went up, because I wasn't doing it that day, and it went up and it was like, oh, well, then you want to do specials up. So I watched it that afternoon. And I was pretty amazed how far he'd gone. But this was before the review started coming out and the responses. But it was like, oh yeah, some people are not going to like this. But, so what? And I think the problem, as I said, the comedy has gotten kind of blah for a long time. It just feels like, apart from Louis C.K., Chappelle, or Jeselnik, there's a lot of it. I think they're feeling a lot of it as people who are trying to appeal to You know, they, to get good reviews, they're trying to appeal to their peers, and don't go too outrageous. Go a little bit outrageous to make yourself look a bit cool, but don't go too outrageous. Don't actually have a point of view. Your point of view should be the point of view of the prevailing culture. And that's deadly, because comedy is meant to be pretty brutal, but everybody's meant to get it. And a lot of the best comedians in the past, like Carlin or someone, or Richard Pryor, had targets. They had targets they were going for, which made them funny. They had a point of view, they had rage. And the point of view in the 60s was the kind of the 50s complacency that moved on to the 60s and 70s into the Nixon era. Very corrupt, very business orientated, very much something that was going to move on and on to up to the Bush era and now the Trump era. That's something that's identifiable as something that needs to be criticised repeatedly and be something that's always brought up as there are limits to this. You have to be critical of this. And that's good, because they need to be criticised. But it's also gone to the other side as we can't criticise our own side. And it's become this mess because you've lost a lot of the thing that makes the engine go. So if you look at a lot of, I was a big fan of Bill Hicks. He attacked the right a lot, but he was all about his own hypocrisy, his own failings. Richard Pryor had lots of stuff about his own disastrous life choices. You know, a lot of them really have that drive of people are messed up. That even though you have a political point of view, everybody's a target. Everyone should be a target. Nowadays, no one's a target that's not like Trump. And Trump's an easy target. But for God's sake, do not take the mickey out of the left. Do not take the mickey out of these people. They are the new, because it used to be, the right kind of had the media in some ways. The right had this conservative view on life that was going through the culture in the 50s, and it was extending throughout the post-war era all the way through, like a very conservative, God-fearing culture that a lot of the 60s people were fighting against and rebelling against, the counter-culture, and that became a new vibrant counter-culture against that. Of course, a lot of them just sold out eventually and moved into that. But it was something that was needed. And now that generation has moved into being in their 70s, and they're the ones who now run the culture, and their ideals are now pushed through the culture, and that's kind of what runs the media. That's the engine of the media, and that stuff. I've kind of more lefty. Be nice to everybody. Be polite to everybody. Or you're a bigot. It's always, are you a racist? Are you this? Are you that? We have to be nice to everybody. If you're not, you're awful, and you should be destroyed. And it's like, that's boring. It doesn't work. Most people know to be nice to these other people. I mean, that's just normal, just be nice. You don't have to like try and destroy people's lives to be nice. So that's become the culture we're in with the Me Too thing recently, where they were out against these perverts, like, you know, we all know who they were. So that became this culture of bringing out people's past, and now it's become an industry. It's just an industry. Anything you've got anybody, we can make money off of. We can make money off of. Anybody you can attack on Twitter and deplatform on Twitter is something that's really important to some people. And it's like, who are the people everyone's listening to? Well, these people with no audiences on Twitter. Nobody cares until they attack someone who has an audience. That's what it does seem to be like. And that's what this show is going against. It's like, some of these stories are a bit weird. You know, the kind of thing is, he talks about, Chappelle starts talking about this kind of culture where everybody's scared, really, and everybody is like judgmental, and you're going to get caught for doing something or other. Even if you didn't do anything, you're still going to get accused of something. And it's like this culture, and some like the hypocrisy is based on, I am better than you. When in comedy, it was never that. It was like, I am as flawed as everyone else, and I'm going to discuss why I'm flawed and why everyone else is flawed. Now it's I am better than you. The culture seems to be I am better than you because, and that's a problem in the culture, and that this comedy special kind of goes after is like that entitlement, and just because someone's been judged as wrong, are they wrong, or is it just people just on a high horse and they're going to make money off this kind of false anger because it's profitable for now? And it just is profitable. And it's been made profitable by the fact that people running the media now actually are like the 60s counterculture and their descendants who have good intentions. I mean, here's the thing, most people have good intentions. They want people to live better, they don't want people to be subject to racism or sexism. That's all good. But you've got to give people the avenue to be flawed, to make mistakes and to grow. And if you're doing a cancel culture, any little mistake you make, you're gone. That's a problem. That's not real life. That's something, that's like a mental illness. You know, that's what it is. So, so he just tears it apart. He goes into the Michael Jackson abuse scandals, which he says, I don't think he did it, and then starts to play around with the idea, did he do it or didn't he do it? Should you trust people accusing him 10 years after he's died? Or maybe he did do it, and it's like, he goes in and says something that's going to offend everyone to start with, and then starts to play around with all the ideas about it. So you can still make your own mind, but you're still having fun with the idea of, you don't really know. You've got your theories, but you don't actually know. And that's what's great with that whole set of Michael Jackson, is like, I have my opinions about Michael Jackson, the same way I have my opinions about Woody Allen and other people who have been cancelled. Doesn't mean I'm right. And he really is prodding that. It doesn't mean you're right when you say these things. The same with when he starts talking about like Kevin Hart with the Oscars, where we end up losing the chance to host the Oscars because of 4 tweets. And he has fun with that, just the outrage. Then he has fun with the Louis C.K. thing. We're saying basically it's just putting out just how sad it was more than anything else. What was the point? And all that's really refreshing because it's things that people are saying in society that doesn't get on the media. Like a lot of things that people are saying in real life isn't getting reported because it's not what the people in charge of the media want. It's not the people who have the money and who have the jobs of power say what goes, what stays and what goes. The same ways in the 50s and 60s they were against people like William Burroughs or the Beat Generation or the hippies because they didn't get that. Now we've got a new generation who have followed on from them, who came to counterculture, who see like doubt and cynicism about all these ideals and how something good, like trying to stop racism, can be manipulated, how to avoid sexism can be manipulated by people for their own good. And anyone criticising that becomes the enemy. And that leads to all this stuff like people called alt-right or all the rest of it. If you're not one of us, if you don't believe when we say you're one of them. And it's like, no, I mean, I can hate the Tommy Robinson supporters, but I can also hate a lot of the kind of far lefties who joined Antifa and beat people up. I can hate both of them with the same bile. Because of both sides are bloody awful. You know, you can hate people for what they do rather than are they on your tribe or not. And that's what this whole special seems to be about, is like the flaws in people and the flaws of stupidity tied to idealism or selfishness and how that gets abused and by people who haven't thought anything through. And it's funny as hell. It's really funny. Like there's a bit where Chappelle says talking about the opioid epidemic, and he goes, yeah, he can now do what people in the 80s did with the crack epidemic, which is look at all the victims and then say, I don't care. And then he goes on to what happened with the crack epidemic. And it's funny because it's identifiable. It's like he's quietly going around the whole idea of race and things like that. It's like, yeah, there's racial tensions, but he kind of brings it together to be like people are people, no matter what race you're in, people are people. You get some people who are idiots and some people are decent. People are people. He knows the racial divides in America and the world, but he also is not playing onto that. He's like, he doesn't really put that as a get out of free jail card for anybody, or as something that's a defining characteristic. It's just people are people, race is race, but who cares? It's like, it's a much more humanistic point of view. And that's what's good about the whole comedy routine, is it's very humanistic, and it's very much about the flaws in people and how people can self-destruct. Like, he does this whole 10-minute thing about Jussie Smollett, and the guy that had an incident in Chicago, and he has a whale of a time because he doesn't like the cops, but he's also having fun with their reaction to the story. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. It's just funny because he knows every side has a point of view, and he's willing to share that point of view. He talks about trans issues and gay and lesbian issues as well. He calls them the alphabets, concertina up all these letters in the alphabet for the cause, and that's hilarious. It's really funny. It's taking down a peg of people who are very self-promoting, say very much like, you have to take it seriously. In actual fact, if you look at statistics, most of this is a minority. It's a minority. A lot of decent people are trying to be kind to, but you're still a minority. You're not the majority opinion in the country. Always fighting for your rights, for equality is right. Anything else beyond that is not. It means you're trying to elevate yourself above everyone else. Everyone else just gets equality. You know, like a poor white guy in Scotland is probably going to be much worse off than a rich black guy in America. That's just the case. It has to do with class. Class is a big thing. It's never talked about, but class is a big thing in any country, and class has to do with money, and to do with generations of money and how power moves through our economy. That's what's really going on in any country, and you have to really pay attention to that. And Chappelle's good at class as well, without banging on about it. He's aware of all the different weird absurdities of life, and the special was hilarious. It's just so funny, but trying to get anyone to admit how funny it is seems to be dying. It seems to be impossible for people to get beyond themselves and say, okay, we've gone a bit far, we need to be mocked a little bit, because everyone needs to be mocked so culture can advance. If you're stuck in your own little tribe without someone questioning anything, then it's not healthy. It's never healthy, because any person needs questioning. You need that to grow. You need questioning to grow, to always move ahead to the next level of your life. You need people to question things. You need people to say, I don't think you've thought this through. Because if you're just talking to other people, any tribe, that leads to religious bigotry, because people just reinforce themselves, or social bigotry, where you see people suddenly saying ironically something about white people in them, but we're not racist. Or someone saying something like the Tommy Robinson supporter saying something weird about Muslims that isn't true, it's just a generalisation. So you're just talking to yourselves, you're not actually confronting people who you may disagree with to actually find out what their point of view is, and you need to do that to actually progress, to have society progress. You need to deal with people who might be your political enemies and see them as people and see them as complex human beings and see the different ideology and try and see where they're coming from. You're not going to agree on everything, but you might get some understanding. And this, but if you don't, you end up becoming more and more tribal, more and more insular. You take away bits of this, bits of that, bits of information all over the place, so you end up having a set of beliefs that are kind of insane, and it leads to violence for you defending your rights for these opinions that are actually already insane, because you can't face life. I say you need comedians to actually go this far out as Chappelle did in this special, because it's so healthy for culture. People are feeling this all the way through culture at the moment. It's like everybody's got offended by everything, and it's just a small minority get taken offence. And it's like, that's ridiculous. And even if you're actually agreeing with the general reason, you know, like ensuring that minorities have decent rights and are treated equally and are not being, people aren't being cruel to them, that's good, but you can't, you still have to be able to take offence at certain things. You know, you really do. I mean, I have mental health issues. One of the things people with mental health issues really need is people who do good jokes about them. Because it's like, if anyone needs that, it's people with mental health issues. And there's nothing, because people are terrified of that area. It's like, do not do that area. Just don't. And it's like, no, you need to do that area. That area is important. And it's important to people to be able to laugh at their problems in life and see the funny side and see it from other people's points of view, and then progress from that stage of like, okay, that's what they think. They may be wrong here, here and here, and I can educate them, but maybe from the outside they're seeing things that I don't see. And that's what's needed. Sometimes you can't see the elephant in the room, basically. I think sometimes you need someone who's got fresh eyes from the outside to come and say, like, that's a problem. And if you're not willing to talk to people on the outside, that becomes a problem. If you just become a tribe, that becomes a problem if you can't deal with the outside. And I think that's what this is dealing. This company special is dealing with is people's mania and craziness and need to have a judgment, have a point of view, have something that they can call their own. It's sort of to do with selfishness and egotism, and I'm important. I need to have a reason for importance. If I can help cancel someone who offends me, that gives my life meaning. It doesn't. It just means you're actually taking meaning from other people's lives. You're not putting meaning in, you're taking it out because you're so insular and you're so wrong. You're just so selfish, basically. And you don't actually have a long-term plan for humanity. You have a plan for your version of humanity that may not be right, because I'm talking to you right now and I'm sure I'm wrong about some stuff. I've looked at other videos, I'm sure I'm wrong about some stuff in other videos. Everyone does that, everyone's wrong about certain things, and you need to put stuff out and then see how it goes, and then look for where you were wrong and try and get better. But if you're so scared to do that, instead you're just trying to have some sort of childish opinion that you have to put on the world because you need someone to recognise you. Even if the opinion hasn't been, especially when you're young, you use opinions that haven't been field tested in real life at all, and you need to be smacked by real life a couple of times. And all these people are making these obnoxious, like, cancellation dramas don't seem to have done much with their lives, and they just seem to be bitter, and it's something we really, hopefully we're going beyond that. I think we are. I think that's special. A couple of things have started to push us beyond that. I know some people haven't got the message, but in a world of Brexit and Trump, where we're focused, when there's so much there you could focus on, like policies of both the Tories in Britain and the Trump in America, you end up just focusing on this kind of thing, which is just like offence culture, or Russiagate, which can never be proven, instead of actually focusing on Trump's policies day to day and working against them. And why does no one ever focus on them? Is because the Democrats and the left wing over here in Britain, really, they're all complicit, because they all take money, you know, to pass stuff that they shouldn't take the money for. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that the Democrats in America are really complicit in a lot of stuff, and they won't go after Trump for lots of reasons, for lots of policy reasons, because they've policy supported in the past and used them in the past. They can't, they've done nothing like stand on. And in Britain, we've had a reaction against that with Jeremy Corbyn, like, oh, Labour was too much like the Tories, now we're going to go so far away from that, we're just going to argue all the time in the say. And that's not, and I don't think they do, it's just this childish blah 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 baby talk. And it's nothing that's really useful. So that's why I think the Chappelle thing was important. It was like a step. Hopefully this wasn't too political, but I was thinking about this for the last week or so, because it's like, it did feel like it was something that was this special kind of got a reaction. Even if you didn't think it was the best special ever, I mean, I think the Jason Nick Fire Maternity Award from this year was a better comedy hour than this one was, but this still was really excellent. I think it was kind of an important cultural thing with someone saying this is nonsense. And he doesn't even go come out and say it like direct. He says it very carefully through different incidents, but you know he's had enough of it. And it's like, I do think it's one of those things where it's just the same way the 50s caused the 60s rebellion, and how they culture started moving around in interesting ways. I think obviously because now the left, people from that kind of culture has moved over and taken over the media, there's obviously going to be someone from the right that's going to pull people back that way. In a way I don't really want, because I'm a lefty, you know, but I just don't think the lefties are doing much for the left at the moment. I think they're pretty much blowing it, you know. And I think they're causing a reaction that no one's going to like. And I really wish they'd stop, so we can have a much more moderate reaction from people who might veer rightwards a bit more, and trying to have a kind of healthy discussion with them, rather than an extreme from going. The left's gone so crazy, so now the right's going to go to the far right things. I think you need something in the middle, a balance. But who knows? I mean, the world's crazy at the moment. Everything's going a bit crazy. That's just my opinion. I'm sure in about a year we'll probably have a different opinion, because who knows where the world goes. But I think this was a kind of check, really, of, okay, things have got a bit crazy, let's try and go back to a bit more common sense and not be offended by every little thing. And hopefully we'll get some mental health jokes too, because there was the one place he didn't really go for in this special, and I think we felt, us who are psychos, felt a bit left out. So I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully I've hit the targets I wanted to hit with this video. But I'll see you soon. We'll take a week off, but I'll see you soon. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully it wasn't too much of a ramble. Okay, bye bye.